All right, y'all. Don't mind the mess, but this is my old truck I had bought. And I used it for parts from my other truck that you guys seen in my videos. So I kind of robbed parts off the front end. My truck was wrecked, and we got this truck. It had a flatbed dump on it, and we ended up stealing the bed off of it for another truck that we had sold. But I got these airbags set up. They're deflated right now. I got a leak in one of the lines, I believe. I tried to air it up earlier. These are sensors that they're not on this wire harness, but they were on the wire harness in the other truck that I had. But they had a little sensor with a magnet that said when you got below a certain PSI. And but this is the late model 04 1-ton full-wheel drive. Gonna make it my other setup. It's old and she needs some work, but got all the parts in here for her. And I looked at the VIN earlier and verified that it had a 1 in the 8th digit, so that's the LB7. I've only had one other LB7 that I got rid of. I already started kind of tearing it apart, and as you can see, the whole front end is missing. I stole the parts off my other truck from my white truck. But got this truck, and I got it cheap. I think we paid like $1,500 for the truck, which the bed was worth that with the hydraulic system on it. But they said the truck ran. I never heard it run. My dad had picked it up, and he gave me the truck, and he had my other truck that I gave him, and he took the flatbed off of it, and I just had this thing sitting up for about 3 years now. And the story on it is they said it had blown head gaskets, and I don't know. So I had the thing, and obviously it was a work truck. There's a company. But I don't know if I want to spend money on it right now and just pull the heads and break that far into the engine and it not even be blowing head gaskets. It'd be something else, you know, that was giving them issues, and they just didn't know what they were looking at. But I got a lot of work here to do, and the wire harness is going to be the funnest. But I stole the little box right here because mine was broke in the wreck, and I robbed it on that for that other truck. So I might have to get might end up trying to find another part truck that's similar, even a 3/4 ton or another 1 ton down here in Louisiana. So if anybody's watching this and they have a part truck that they want to get rid of, front end parts, I need a core support. Not really worried about the grill. I believe I have a fender in the back, but I'm gonna spin this motor here in a minute. Dimension 7/16. And try to spin it over, get some. I did fill it up with oil, topped it off. I kind of overfilled it too, I knew it was going to sit, and before I ended up messing with it, I didn't know if I was going to mess with it or just sell it like it was. But kind of down. My truck's running, but the thing is, what I've been stressing about was not having another second backup truck, and I don't know if I wanted to find a 99 or older Dodge or Ford or Chevrolet and run that route and run paper logs. But I was trying to get away from the ELD. But I've been pulling all the leaves off of it. The hood I had on it was from my wreck truck, so it was just sitting on top of here I had a pry bar holding the front of it up, and it surprisingly made it through both storms that just passed through here last year in Louisiana, and it was just full of leaves and pine straw. And you see there's dirt all up in there, little nest. But I've been cleaning up all the leaves. I got a bunch down here I still need to get before I try to fire it up. I don't want to have a engine fire. I do have the radiator and intercooler that I had that was in it. It was still good. The truck was a complete truck. It had a little dent in the front bumper, and the hood had a little ding in it, but it wasn't bad. It still shut. It was still lined up. I just obviously robbed all the parts off of it and tried to tape it up as best I could. That was actually out of my 07. I robbed it out of the 04. The old one, I didn't want to buy a new pump, and ran that for about a half a year in the 07, and it ended up burning up eventually. But it was summertime, and it made it till this year, and I just recently put a new one on my 07 right at winter. But that was just so I didn't have to hear it actually burned up the seals and started smoking. I could smell it in the truck, so I had to change it out, and I wasn't putting this one on it because this one was messed up. So I went ahead and bought a new one and put it on the 07. But I want to get this one going, and I don't know, you guys leave a comment, tell me what y'all think. I haven't never heard this truck start or run. We kind of just parked it and robbed parts off of it, and I never fooled with it. I used to work in the plants, and I traveled everywhere, so I was never home whenever I was younger. And I've been spraying all the bolts for the manifolds, and just trying to get it ready if I do have to pull the heads. You know, I don't want to be breaking bolts and heads and cause more work, so I'm spraying it now. Sprayed all the passenger side. I gotta spray the back turbo and downpipe, which I don't have WD-40 or one of those the flex straws. Would be nice to reach back there, so I don't know how I'm gonna get that back there yet. I might try to hold the can here sideways on the firewall. It's crazy that I never worked on my 01 that I had, but there's so much room right here versus my 07, the LBZ. I can't even fit my hand right here. I can fit my hand behind the turbo housing heat shield on this, even right here. Behind the glow plug box. As you see, this truck's been sitting. Look, it's no joke, y'all. So I'm gonna end up running this truck, resonator. I'm gonna end up running this truck cab and chassis. It is a single cab. The inside is all kind of molded up. It's leather, luckily, but the seats are kind of bad, and I might try to find an old bench seat and throw that in there, or I don't know which route I want to go yet, or eventually try to find another total truck on the rear end or something, or the front end's all smashed up and swap the cab over, make it extended cab or 4-door. But I need 4-wheel drive for when I go out west in the wintertime. I do run 2-wheel drive on my 3/4 ton, all my oil. But this setup does not have leaf springs. This is like a drop leaf, I believe they call it, setup. I don't remember. You can see all the damn old leaves in it. But it's as you guys can see, this pretty big airbag setup, and this is stopping it inside the housing, which is not really good for it to be sitting. I need to probably put some blocks underneath it. But I mean, this thing goes probably a foot high before it is actually full, and then it has another 4 to 6 inches that it can ride inside this housing. So I will be running cab and chassis setup on this 1 ton. I need this truck, so I'm trying to do this now so I can take my CDL test. My trailer is only a 14 GN, and as you guys can see, it's all kind of I mean, it could clean up, spray some mold stuff on it, but I mean, the interior is just destroyed. The truck's been sitting in South Louisiana, and the moisture down here is bad. And it was sitting underneath a tree, an old tree, and I mean, I have, like I said, I have most everything here for the truck. You know, that was off my wrecked truck, my 07. I believe one of the fins was bent or cracked or something, so I just went ahead and swapped it with a new one. But I am looking for a part truck. If anybody sees this video and has one, or even I might drive to Texas or Mississippi or Arkansas, or, you know, as long as it ain't too far, it's worth it. I do not have a winch on my trailer yet, so possibly delivery would be nice, but I can get I got a tow bar, I can haul it. Just had to pull the front bumper off, and but the plan is getting this thing cleaned up. I might put the radiator right here. I do not have a core support because I stole the core support for the 07, which the 07 and the 04, the radiator is only like 2 inches thick in the 07, and in this one it's almost 3 inches thick. And I don't remember which one was longer and I think taller, but this one has a thicker, I mean, it's almost 3/4 to, I believe, I mean 5/8 to 3/4 thicker on this radiator for the older style Duramaxes. So don't make the mistake I did. I ended up having to fabricate the core support. I had to cut it up to make that radiator fit inside of it correctly. It's just lined up different on the lineup. I guess the guides on the bottom of the radiator was a little bit different, and the intercooler, but I want to try to fire this thing up, put some hot batteries on it, put some fresh diesel in it, bleed the air out of it. I'm going to spin the motor over here by hand and just get some oil under, you know, the main bearings, and the, you know, try to get some oil on top of the motor and let it circulate. I do have it full of oil. It's over full, so I will have to, you know, drain a little bit, but I'm gonna have to fire this thing up with no radiator fluid unless I put the radiator right here and tie it back with a piece of rope or a strap or something so it doesn't hit the fan. So I don't really like dry running engines, but I mean, I've seen people do it, and I'm probably gonna have to replace the water pump if this thing runs. So I'm obviously not gonna, I'm gonna replace the seals, water pump, the crossover bypass tube on the bottom. I'm gonna replace the main seals, all the hoses right here in the front, the fuel pump, fuel filter line hoses on the pressure side. All that's gonna get replaced. You know, hopefully this thing fires up, and I don't really know. I've only changed injectors on one of these, and water pumps and seals and stuff like that. I haven't never done a head job on one, so I don't want to pull the heads and have them shaved and the block and have to go through changing all the fluids again, and it's just, I have to do it obviously anyways because it's been sitting up for 3 years like this, open, exposed, which the damn AC line, the tape came off. This truck sat longer than I expected it wanted it to, and yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to get this thing fired up and revive this old girl and see what she does. Hopefully she cranks up and sounds good, and I don't know. I don't want to sink a whole bunch of money into this truck right now that I don't know where the motor stands as far as blown head gaskets, or if it's just something small and stupid that whoever had this truck didn't know, you know. And could be $100 part, or, you know, however much it costs to get the head shaved on these and checked out. But I do have a fuel cell. It's actually like a plastic. I believe it's 30 or I think it's 30 gallons. Might be 30 gallons. There's a tank that I got that I pulled off of an older truck. It goes in the back, but it takes up the whole area behind the bar right there, the support bar. And plus, I believe this is a 30-gallon tank. I'm not mistaken, but hopefully that pump still works and still good. I don't think we messed with it. I did have a piece of plywood over it so it wasn't sitting in the sun and dry rotting all that. But yeah, I just pulled this old girl out of the dirt earlier, aired the tires up, tried to air the airbags up. They didn't. You can see the dirt where it was sitting in the mud. Well, she's been sitting for 2.5, almost 3 years now. And I don't know how long it sat or what the story was on it before. I just know that they said it had blown head gaskets and they wanted to get rid of it. So I'm gonna keep tinkering on it, and I don't know what I want to do about the radiator yet. I might try to dry run it and maybe put the air filter on. I don't know. I might run it without it. I don't know if it'll run right. It'll idle right without it, being that it hasn't started so long. But yeah, you guys see this and within the next hour or two, and have any ideas or just leave a comment. Any info helps. I'm not really a mechanic. I do my own work, but as far as diesel engines go, I've never really tore one all the way down and messed with it. But I do all my own little small stuff that I can do. And as you see, I don't have a slab or a shop. I got an engine puller. But I have pulled engines. I've swapped transmissions out. I can't rebuild them, but I can, But yeah, you guys drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think, what steps I should take next, or parts trucks that anybody might have or know where one's at for somewhat cheap and decent shape that I could have some, or pay for some parts off of. Try to get me a 1-ton going so that way I can go take my CDL test, the driving part. I already have my permit. I need this truck so I can go get the between trying to work, I'm gonna get this thing fixed up and go get my CDL test. I don't have anybody with a 1-ton truck or a bigger trailer. My 14 and my 3/4 ton, I'm only at like 25.1 on my gross weight, so I can't take my CDL test with it, and they don't have a truck for me to rent or use or whatever here in Louisiana, in my area. So I'm kind of stuck and not really sure what to do, but